desk would be like, why is there a confirmation asking me every time I want to reply now?
Yeah, really. They would have that. All right, so today we want to talk about the Google Maps API. But before we do that, I wanted to show you some nice tools that are built into IntelliJ, because we get tired of writing this kind of stuff all the time on Create. When we create a new activity, we have to constantly create this whole garbage that comes up here. So they have some nice little tools. If I look in the tools, the settings under File and Code Templates, they have all kinds of different places in here that I can change what is automatically created for me. So if I look at the Java class, I can change this with some variables and things. This is what is created when I create a new Java class. So it figures out the package name and puts in the package name if necessary, using some parsing commands that IntelliJ has built into it. And then it includes this file called fileheader.java, and then it creates a file called public class, and that's when we get the name from the name of the file. So this fileheader.java comes from here, and so this just has created by so-and-so on the state. So I could change some comments, I could add some stuff in here. I could say the class name is something like the name of the file. And so now that will get created on every piece that I want to have in there. I can also create my own template. So I'm going to start with this and create my own template called an Android activity. And I'm going to put all of that stuff in there, and I'm going to add some more stuff. So what do we always do with our activity? We initialize it. We do an overload on create. We extend from the base activity, right? So I could just type this code in here, so I don't have to do it every time. Extends, sorry. Yes, that's what I said. Extends. Then I can have the override at override, and we do a public. It's a void on create, protected on create bundle, this code. So I'm going to save that and copy that so I can come back in. So let's save it, come back in, copy. Let's copy all of this stuff out. Let's go to a simpler one. These are not simpler. Here's a simpler one. So we're going to do something like this, and with our initialize app. We'll put all of that in there. Go back to our tools. And go back and edit this. So we're going to put our override in here. We're going to put a blank line. We're going to have our protected. And we're going to do a set content view. That's something we always have to do. And then this stuff is more specific. So we'll delete that. We will call our initial, I want to call it initialize app. And this does something which is specific for each instance. So we'll call that fine. This could be a variable though. This could be the name of the class.
Yeah, maybe better use that.
Or we can put our own variables in here, which is really nice. So because the name of the class is going to be camel cased, and the layout doesn't allow camel cased, right? So we want to put in here a variable, and we're going to call it layout. We're going to call it layout name. All right. So the parser that is in IntelliJ is automatically going to give me a dialog and ask me for the layout name, and it will put this in there automatically for me. Is that sweet or what?
Have it add the view on the base activity, so it will actually go to application, go to activity, the search statement.
You mean editing a whole nother file? No. This is one file. We're creating a new file. That's all it can do is create one new file. So now I can say I want a new Java class. And what kind of the class is it? Well, I just added an Android activity. So that's my new template. And I'm going to call it Google Map. All right? Say OK. It asks me now, since I put a variable in there, what's the layout name? Well, it's going to be called Google Map. And this one has to be lowercase because the layouts all have to be lowercase. Remember that? So we say OK. And that's a separate thing. So bada boom, bada bing. Isn't that sweet?
Should have had it include the bundle, though, automatically.
Probably. So I need to there we go. I need to import this bundle. Where is my base activity? Why is that not working?
Missing an I.
Ah, that's why. There we go. That fixes all of that. Google Maps not there yet, but it would have found it had I had a layout already created. So let's go fix that. Let's,
Copy and paste the bundle.
yeah, let's do the bundle too. Might as well do that. So we'll go back and fix our little Android activity. We will put in place the package. We'll put it above the header. We'll just include that guy. We will fix activity. I did that on purpose to show you. So let's delete this guy. Delete. And add it again. New Java class, Google Map. Set our type as Android activity. And our layout name is going to be Google Map. Ta-da! Isn't that cool? That saves me from typing a lot of garbage. So you can customize a lot of that stuff. I could add my own anything, any type of file that I wanted. All right, so let's go on and create our Google Map. Any questions on that so far?
That's pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. All right, so I'm going to create a new layout, and we won't get very far on this, but let's see, a new resource, and I want it to be a relative layout, and we'll call it Google Map to match my layout here. Say OK, yes, and all I care about this is that, let's see, I had a lot of trouble with the Google Maps, let me tell you. Lots of trouble. So let's just leave it as that, and we're going to add this programmatically. I had trouble getting it to work not programmatically. So we're going to come in here and create some stuff using the Google Maps. Now, one of the big things we need when we create a Google Map is we need a key from Google, an API key to allow us to utilize their resources. So we have to register as a developer on Google and get a key and create a key, and it's fairly time-consuming. Let's walk through how to do that. So the first thing we need to do is go to developers.google.com, and we need to look for, well, let's just go further. We're going to look for maps, documentation, Maps/Android/start. Let's just go all the way into here. Okay, so this is how you start to use their newest version. I think they actually have a version 3 now, but we're going to do version 2, Android Maps API version 2. And this talks about all the different things we can do. We can draw on the map. We can interact with the map, changing zoom levels and panning, and etc. But the first thing we need to do is create a project and a certificate on the Android Google site. So we need to get a certificate. And to do that, we go to, let's see. We have to create an API project. So we go to Google APIs console, and they're changing this all the time. So you have to have a Google account. Okay, if you don't have a Google account, you're done. If you don't want a Google account, you can't do any Google stuff. You have to have it. So we can create different projects on our site. So I can create brand new ones. I already have a couple here, and this tells it. I was creating one called the nearest place, and it creates these project IDs for you, and you could administer billing. Some of these APIs require that you pay for usage. So if you do some of their APIs, they might charge you so many cents per thousands of transactions and things like that. But the maps are free so far. They could change those easily. So first thing we need to do is create a new project. So we call it whatever you want. My Google project. My Google Maps project. How about that?
So each time you would create an application, Google Maps, you're going to have a project, key number, and you use the one that you got.
You can reuse it for multiple apps, but they prefer that you have one for each app so that you can manage yourself the statistics for each application. Because if you use one of their APIs that costs money, you want to make sure you're charging for that app and things like that. So what we want to do is change the API access, I believe. Nope. See, I don't know. Let's see here. I've lost already. We need to change the.
Register product ID.
Let me go to the Cloud Console. Maybe that's the one I used. Yeah, that looks more like what I used. So I'm using their new cloud system. I want to click on APIs and auth. And these are all of the different APIs they have. Look how many APIs they have. They've got a YouTube data API, site verification, static maps, OrCut, Google+, all kinds of stuff. So what we're going to use this Google Maps Android API version 2. So I'm going to turn that on. And when you turn it on, it puts it all the way at the top. So, which is a little confusing. We also are eventually going to use some of these other things like the Maps engine. So I'm going to turn that on. The Maps geolocation, coordinate, and where was it? It was called, I guess that's all I have. So there's 4. Let's see if I missed one.
It's probably Google Maps.
Yeah. Google Maps, this is version 3. Tracks, we're not using that one. All right, so that should be good. So those are the four that I've chosen: maps, coordinates, engine, and geolocation. So we're going to go ahead and let that go on. Then I have to go to credentials, and I have to create a new key. All right? And this is a key that is shared between Google and my Android application. So I'm going to say create a new key, and I want to create an Android key. So to create an Android key, I have to do this type of information on my local computer. I have to call this command on my local computer. So let's go to my IntelliJ, open up a terminal, because these are command line, and see if it works. No, it does not. Of course, this works on my Mac. So we have to go, there are different ways of doing it depending on whether you're on Windows or Mac. So we have to go find the Windows side of it. So it's not finding key tool. That should be available. So let me pause and find that. All right, it's in the Java directory that you need to find it, which in my case is on my C drive in my program files, x86/Java /JRE/bin. So it's called keytool.exe. So that works. So now I should be able to do that command from here. So let's copy this. And I think we're going to have to change this, but yep. So what we need to do is type keytool minus list minus v minus key store, and then for Windows we have to type %user profile %/android/debug.keystore minus alias android debug key minus store pass android minus key pass android. Oh my God, is that painful or what? Ta-da! It worked. So that is creating, and what we need is this SHA1 key certificate, and so that's what's stored on my local computer, and I need that Google to be able to see that. So, and we're going to put something similar to this in our Android application, so that when it accesses it from the real device, Google will allow it to access this API. All right? And the whole point of this is so they can keep track of who's using it and eventually bill for it. So what we need to do then is take that SHA1 key, all of these hex digits, copy those, and put them here, followed by a semicolon. See the semicolon here as the example. And then the reverse DNS of the name of our package. So mine is called com.example.helloandroid is what I'm going to put in. Okay, and so we say, okay, create that guy. All right, so that ties my Android to Google's API, and the API key that I have to use is this stuff here. So I'm going to copy this information. Oh my God, is this painful. I copy this, and I'm going to put it in my manifest file. So in my manifest, I'm going to add some information just for this key, and it's going to be inside the application node here. So I'm going to say metadata, Android name, and I have com.google.android.maps.v2.api key. That's the data that I'm going to have in there. And Android value is going to be my key that I copied, that long garbage key. And then I close that node. All right? In addition, I need another metadata, which has the name of com.google.android.gms, which is Google Maps System .version, and an Android value of @integer/Google Play Services version. Google Play Services version, and I close that tag at why doesn't it like that?
Oh, it thinks it's a symbol. Can't resolve the symbol.
Because I haven't put the library in place. We also have to download a jar file and incorporate it into the project. So we'll do that tomorrow. That was painful enough by itself, let me tell you. All right, that's enough for today.